Craig with the K Adams here, and today I'm going to be talking about all the gear that I'm going to be using to shoot weddings this 2017 wedding season. I've been updating this kit. I put this link in the top of the descriptions for each of these videos so you can always see it there, and I do update it quite frequently. So check back whenever you have questions, and you can even put little comments below each item. So just make sure to check that, hit me up. I love to answer questions. I'm here to help. So let's just dive into it. There are 53 items on this, and I've already talked about a lot of them. Some of them are new. Just want to breeze through it as quickly as possible for you. So this is mostly stuff that I use, stuff that I recommend. It's a bit on the expensive scale. I do have a budget kit that you can check out if you're new, starting out. You don't have to have this stuff, but this is kind of what I use to shoot. I'm very minimalistic. I always want to be quicker and easier and faster than having all of the gear to slow me down. I usually shoot with two shooters. The second shooter usually has to have their own camera, lenses, microphone for on top, and then support gear. Everything else I usually bring and take care of. So right now I'm shooting on the A7S Mark II, of course. I'm expecting that Mark III to come out. I'm looking at the GH5, but honestly I would much rather just stick with what I know, and a camera upgrade like the Mark III would be great. Not sure what it is yet. 16-35 is my wide angle. I vlog a lot with that, but if I have anything wide, I'm going to use that lens, especially on the Zion crane and on sliders. It's a great wide angle, and at f4 that's okay because most wide angle shots don't really have the most shallow depth of field. That's totally chill. And the A7S Mark II is great at low light, so it can handle f4 even in a dark reception. My Sony 55 is my bread and butter. I'm on that lens for most of the day. It's f1.8, so that gives me that shallow depth of field. I'm usually at that or f2. You usually don't want to be too wide open just because you won't get the sharpest of images. But at f2, handheld on a monopod, on a tripod, this lens is boss. I love it. Very small, fits directly on the A7S Mark II, as do all of my lenses. So everything works, all the electronics work. I don't really like adapters. I don't like using Canon glass. These lenses are small, they do the job. I love them. The 70-200 is great. You know, I've played with the 85 and tried to get a little extra range with the crop sensor mode and zoom and all that, but just nothing beats the 70-200. It's nice to be able to go in and out quick. You know, even if the menu for the zoom was quick, this is just perfect. A lot of people ask me if I want the f4 version, which is cheaper and smaller than this G Master 2.8. This lens looks beautiful. For the moments you are using it, I think you want to be at f2.8 unless you're in the bright sunlight, like daylight outside for a ceremony or something. But I think you should just ball out for this lens. It's beautiful. It's fantastic. A7S Mark II batteries. You got to have a couple of them. I call them Tic Tacs. They're little tiny batteries. You go through them very quickly, especially if you're shooting on 4K. Make sure you turn airplane mode on your camera so during the wedding day so you're not killing batteries extra. But I probably have like 6, 7 of these. I am also charging on the day. We'll get down to that RAV power. You can fit 2 of these in this RAV power and actually charge it via micro USB. So I have a USB brick that I will get to later. So all of this can be charging as I'm shooting the wedding day. I don't have to look for outlets. It makes it very easy. So 7, 8, 6, 7, 8 is enough for me for my camera, my setup. My second shooter has to take care of their own problems. They're an adult. This Sennheiser is new. I'm testing this out compared to what I know, the Rode VideoMic Pro. We'll see. You know, I will let you know if I don't like it. I'll replace it with something. But as of this point, it looks. I kind of like the solid feel of it, and it's actually not that much bigger than the Rode VideoMic Pro. So I'm a fan so far. This is the card that I use with my cameras. It's a ton of data. I don't think I've ever filled up one of these things, and I'm the kind of guy that likes to just put one SD card in each camera and then not worry about it until the day after the wedding, so that I don't ever format or lose a card. I just keep one card per camera, and I think that works for me. This gives you more than enough speed for 4K. It's just get a good card in your set. I like to keep extra cards in this wallet, and I actually hand out cards to my second, third shooters if they're shooting for me, so that you never have to mess around with dumping data at the end of the night. I've messed up at that point, so I try to avoid that. Just have them give the card back. So, and I keep them in this wallet. It's a good thing to keep them safe. This is the bag that I use. I like it just because it just feels like a camera bag. I like having a drink, my extra lenses. I can fit everything into that bag, and then I can keep my card, wallet, and actually an extra battery. So like I said, I can charge on the go, and that just goes over my shoulder. It's small, I'm not wheeling anything, so it's pretty great. I just did a review on this monopod. It's fantastic. I think the base is a lot wider than its competitor, the Manfrotto X Pro version. So they're both locking monopods, which means you can stand them up on their own. And I like this one because the base is a bit wider. I feel like it's more stable. And I also have the carbon fiber version. I paid a little extra to get, a lighter monopod. This is what I'm using for most of the day, so it just makes sense to have a lighter load, minimalist. Manfrotto Carbon-Fibre tripod, so the same idea, a little lighter, a little more expensive, comes with a nice bag. Comes with this head, but I actually take that off and sell it. I use a different head, so I'll talk about that later. This tripod's awesome. The middle can go up and down, and I like not having any spacer in the middle here because there are some that do that. That stuff is annoying. I hate that. This is perfect. You can use this on a hill. It has a ball head with a level so that you can always just level your shot. This is the perfect tripod. I've tried so many others, and I don't know why people don't just use this type for video. It's fantastic. This is the Zion crane. If you're using a small camera like the A7S Mark II, it works better than a Ronin. I think it's ridiculous if you ever use a Ronin for a camera this size, especially for weddings. Like, I've seen people trying to use Ronins and it just slows them down too much. And I think you can get better shots with this. Comes with two very large batteries, and I've never seen them run out. They're crazy as far as capacity. So honestly, I think you're fine with just coming to a wedding with these two batteries and then just shooting with that. I put this release plate on top of the sled for the Zion crane here. That way, this is the quick release that I use for all of my tripods and monopods, as you can see here. And it just allows me to put the camera on the Zion real quick, very small. I've tried the sliding Manfrotto ones, and it just was too big, so that's why I switched to this head right here. It's small, it's quick, and yeah, I just think it's better than the sliding ones. Especially when you have small cameras, you don't really need to balance it forward and back. That's what that's for. The Edelkrone Slider Plus Pro Medium. I've tried a bunch of different Edelkrone sliders, and I think this is the best one for the price. Eventually, I'd like to get this kit towards a more automated, smaller slider that does the job, but I think people buy you don't need the large one. You don't need huge sliders. You just need small motion or small movement, very subtle. I think that's best. And this slider is great for that, so check that out. I put one of these on top, and I also put one of these plates on the bottom, so I can actually put this on this tripod once I put one of these heads on that tripod. So I'll probably buy 1, 2, 3 of these, one for on here, one for on here, and one for on here. All of the support gear goes into my Tenma Roller. I've had this for years, I swear by it. There are two sizes, large, medium. I've linked the medium one. I think this is great. The large one is just a little too big, especially if you fill it up. It usually weighs more than 50 pounds, which is the standard for flying. So I can check this bag if I'm flying, and it's great. So knife and flathead. This is a knife and a flathead, pretty standard. You'll need this every so often. It's just nice to have. Just make sure you don't fly with it. Put it in this bag if you're flying. This is the Tascam audio recorder. I believe it's the DR60 Mark II. Yeah, but it's like a little brick. it does the job. You don't need all the inputs, but what I like about it is that you can power it via micro USB, so with a battery brick as well. And then it actually can record the same track in 2 different levels. So that helps you avoid peaking. So if you're recording a voice, it will record another track a little quieter, so that if the loud one peaks, you can always fall back and default to the quieter one. So this is just like a safety. It's great. I use this for DJs, for recording speeches at the reception. I plug this right into any receiver for a handheld mic, or if I can't do that, I'll go right into a mixer and pull something out of that. These are the batteries that go inside of this. Pretty straightforward, AA's. This is the charger for these. These are fantastic. I think you should have rechargeable batteries. That way, as soon as you're done shooting the wedding, you just recharge everything and you're ready, and you know that you won't lose power for the next wedding. This is the SD card that I recommend putting in here. 64 gigs is overkill, but it's okay. You know, you just want to press record once you get this set up at the reception, or if you're recording the ceremony speeches, and just let it ride. You know, you can always trim down in the edit. I always over record for audio, so just make sure that you have it. You know, make sure you press record. So XLR to XLR, quarter to quarter, quarter to RCA. I think these are the 3 cables that you could possibly use in any situation when recording from a board or a mic receiver unit into this Tascam. So you usually want to put the quarter into the Tascam because that's a line input rather than a mic input. I would say I usually use this cable. So I will record speeches out of a receiver unit for a handheld mic, either mono or stereo, doesn't really matter. But if they give you a stereo single, you can just put that into left and right and actually have 4 tracks at different levels. So that's the best situation possible. Sometimes they don't have that and you have to record XLR out of the big speakers at receptions. So that's this backup. I don't really like to do that. And then every so often, barely, sometimes I get an RCA. So I can handle any of those situations. I don't need to borrow anyone's cables. I'd like to use my own equipment. So this is the awesome new little pocket recorder that's replacing the Zoom H1. And it's the Tascam DR10L. You just turn it on real quick. It auto holds, so you can press the buttons. Your groom or officiant can't mess it up. Records to a micro SD card. This one, 32 gigs is more than enough for a full day of wedding. But I use this during the ceremonies, first look, card readings sometimes, and I'll even drape that over the large speakers at the receptions as a backup. You have to turn the mic level down pretty low, but it's a great backup. Just in case anything happens, you never know. These are the batteries. These are AAA's for this, and I'm pretty sure you can charge the AAA's and AA's within this charger. So it's a 2-for-1 deal. That's great. You might need to buy a couple of these. Each one take 1 AAA. So I recommend having 3, maybe 4 of these for the wedding day. I think 3 would be okay. So word. These are the vinyl zipper bags. Everyone knows about these. I think these are fantastic for holding all of your little things. It seems stupid, but it makes a big deal being able to see what's in each bag. Keep batteries, audio recorders, all that stuff in there. This is the Torch LED, the version 2. It's pretty new, and I think it's one of the best bi-color LEDs that you can have. It's very powerful, and I use this for lighting details, if I need a little more light for couple shots with the photographer, and then also lighting during the speeches and dances. So this is a great light that is powered with portable batteries. I think this kit comes with a battery, so that's why I have just the light, but it has like the big Sony batteries, and it's very portable. So I like to also have this Dito. So this Dito, I've done an awesome review. You can check out that for lighting receptions, but this is high, far, and much more spotlighty. So I like to keep that in the Tenma because there is a bulb in there that could break. So get extra bulbs, use this tall stand, and then bring an extension cable because you do have to plug this into the wall. A drone. Everyone needs a drone. Do you need the Phantom 4 Pro Plus? No. But the Mavic works for most people. It really depends on your situation. If you're new to flying drones, this is so easy to fly. And for weddings, I kind of want the extra quality boost that I get with this compared to the Mavic. It's a fantastic drone. This is the card that I use with it. Plenty of space, fast enough. Editing, this is the computer that I actually have right now. So I don't recommend the newest version, the one with USB-C, just because it's got so many problems. You need the extra plugs, and I handle 4K very easily on this. I plug it into an external monitor, does everything I need it to do. This is my ultra wide, curved, crazy. You don't need this, but I like it. It's awesome. Once you get it, you really can't go back. These speakers, pretty fantastic. If I'm not editing on the speakers, I'm listening with these Bose Quiet Comforts. They are the best headphones I've ever had. They block out all the noise. Fantastic. Keyboard for hotkeys. You need it for editing. Magic Mouse is awesome. This is a fast drive. You could put your current project, because you're only editing one project at a time. You can put that on this drive and just keep that with you. It's small, it's fast. Edit off of this. This is the Drobo. This is safe and slow and not as portable. I keep this under my desk and I put everything that I'm not editing on here. I know it's safe. If power stuff happens, it's safe. It's redundant, so it's array, so it has multiple versions of the data. So I depend on this for safety and storage. I fill it with these 8 terabytes. I've got a bunch of these. I think I have somewhere like 40 terabytes of storage, which is crazy. And I cannot fill it up, so that's awesome. Final Cut is what I edit on. I recommend that. Honestly, whatever you learn on is probably best. MediaZilla is how I deliver my wedding films. Online, in HD, they can view, share, download. It's as simple as that. Like, if you're shooting any amount of weddings, you should be doing this. Don't do DVDs. Don't do flash drives. Do this. I use Photoshop a lot for weddings, so I recommend Adobe Creative Cloud if you're serious about weddings. Wonderlust is a service for editing weddings, so you could send them. If you don't want to edit weddings, you could have that done remotely, or if you just have too many, your backlog's too big, they could help you out. They're a wonderful service. Artlist is a subscription service for getting music for wedding films, so you can pay $200 a year and just use as many songs as you want, and it's fantastic stuff. They just updated their website, got a bunch of new songs. Totally check them out. MusicBed is similar but different because you pay per song. It's about $50 per song, but they've been around much longer. They probably have more songs, but either or, they're both fantastic. But yeah, so if this video helped in any way, go down here, click that like on the video itself and also the kit. But yeah, I'm gonna update this as much as possible, but thank you for watching. See ya.